Hello, Emily. How are you doing? It's Miguel. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about the meaning of life. I might have spoken about this before, and I'm always continually clarifying my ideas about the meaning of life and its purpose in general. Certainly, you can establish your own meaning and purpose in life, but I have an idea for a general one, and I'll get to it. The meaning and purpose of life is enjoyment. And interspersed between those periods of enjoyment, between those periods, ideally, there is peace of mind. So that's my vision of what the purpose and meaning of life are. Enjoying the things around you, and interspersed between that peace. So I don't know if anyone's ever talked to you about their understanding of what the meaning and purpose of life is, but I wanted to let you know what mine was. And I'm getting inputs from a lot of places about what the meaning and purpose ought to be. For example, I know Aristotle, who was an ancient Greek philosopher, talked a lot about happiness being the meaning and purpose of life, and that's great. Though there's a drawback of that, because happiness is sort of an excited state, and it's hard to maintain an excited state throughout your entire life. Often, you need some rest, and so peace is my answer to those resting periods between periods of happiness. Or for me, enjoyment, which I think is a word that connotes an idea of just a more relaxed enjoyment. So what that means is that, Emily, when you go through your daily life, like now you're in school, one of the things that I would like to impress on you is how important it is for you to enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy your day, enjoy your studies, enjoy learning and exploring and your curiosity and answering questions. Enjoy your mom and your stepdad and enjoy your interactions with them. That's what I would ask that you consider doing. And then as you grow older, when you go to college, enjoy college. I want you to choose a major that you enjoy, whatever happens to be your cup of tea. And then after college, I hope that you enjoy, if you choose a romantic partner, I hope that you enjoy your time with your romantic partner. And, there might be periods where you don't enjoy that time so much. Then, it'll be up to you about how much lack of enjoyment you'll accept before you move on. And your job, I hope that you choose a major that you enjoy, so that you can enjoy the job that you have afterwards and enjoy the work that you perform as part of this job. One thing also too, I want to talk about meaning and purpose too, but in the context of job search. I know a lot of society is focused on jobs, and the fact is that what we typically in our society, we call on 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds to sort of define their major in college, because that will define their future jobs. That doesn't work. First of all, it puts a lot of stress on these young people, 16, 17, 18-year-olds, and even younger. Unnecessary stress. That's not the way the world works. I want to remind you that I have a bachelor's degree in physics. Have I ever worked in a professional job in physics? The answer is no. I never have. My brother has a degree in biology and English, a dual degree. Does he work in biology and English? No. He works as a financial analyst for a large multinational financial corporation. So what happens, this is the reality, okay? The reality of the future for jobs. And that is, it's sort of like a pinball machine where you get bounced from one pin to another pin, some idea, you happen to know somebody, the job is open and you happen to be near it, and basically it's sort of like this random walk where you find employment after employment after employment, and it's just a pattern, and there's not a lot of control there. I mean, you try to exercise your preferences the best you can, but there's not a lot of control in the marketplace. When you're out there looking for a job, you can only take the jobs that have open positions at the moment. so you've got to figure out what job you might enjoy the most. So anyway, I don't want to belabor that point, but I just want you to know that finding the job of your dreams, first of all, that's not going to I don't know if that's going to happen or not. It's unlikely. What's going to happen is like a pinball machine. You're going to move and try to make decisions within the certain constraints that exist in the marketplace. And, you'll do your best. I've never worked as a physicist. My brother's never worked as a biologist. I just found the job that was available to me that I thought that I could enjoy. And that's just generally what will happen. So anyway, getting back to the meaning of life and how it's enjoyment and peace interspersed with periods of peace. I wanted to describe why I think it might be peace and why that's so important. One of the things that's important to me for you is I'm actually not interested in the job that you eventually go to. I'm not interested necessarily in whether you go to college, although I would prefer you would go to college. I'm not interested in whether you get married or not, or whether you are able to, you like driving cars or anything like that. My main interest for you and your future is that you are comfortable within yourself, that you maintain a solid foundation of good mental health. That's my interest. I want you to feel adequate. I want you to have self-esteem. I want you to feel self-acceptance. I want you to feel empathy for yourself and others. This is what I want for you. This is my desire. If I had any desire for you and your future, it's not jobs, relationships, money, retirement. That stuff's not important to me, at least when I think about you and what I want for you. What I want for you is I want you to experience lots of enjoyment interspersed with periods of peace of mind, where you're relaxed in a fairly neutral state, where you're calm in your daily activities, and you make decisions that you think are best for you. That is my interest for you in the present and in the future. All this other stuff about money and job and relationships, I don't care about that at all. Notice how I emphasize how I don't care about something by trilling my lips. I just realized that. That's pretty funny. Okay, so you might ask, well, what does this have to do with peace? Well, I'm actually I am interested in your mental health, and that's very important to me, that you develop good communication habits, that you have a healthy sense of self. This is something that's most important to me. So, I'm going to have to go into more detail in it about why and what I mean by peace of mind is that, I believe that there are certain emotional bounds that you want to try to keep your emotions sort of constrained within limits, so that they are not so intense that they become painful, right? That's part of what I mean by peace. It's fine to feel sadness and fear, or discomfort maybe, and concern. Those fall within certain boundaries. But once you start getting yourself excessively upset about something, you could become hysterical. That would be a word that describes a feeling or behavior that's outside of what I'd call normal bounds, or if you're not just angry, but very upset, and or maybe you, or even if you feel yourself, if you make a judgment of yourself that is excessively harsh, outside of a bound, I would think that needs attention, because it's having impacts probably on the functioning of you in your life situation, and also your enjoyment of life. That would certainly have impacts on how much emotional pain you're feeling in the moment. So anyway, that's part of the background of this, and I'll definitely get into more of it later on. Now, I think what I'll do is I'll finish up this video here, because I'm worried about going excessively over time, because I have a tendency to do that. I was thinking about what could I do to sort of end this video, and the idea that came to mind was that I wanted to set aside a time. I was thinking 5 minutes, where I would give you unconditional acceptance. So for me, it's a little game. I'm going to set aside 5 minutes, and I'm going to talk to you about unconditional acceptance. How I unconditionally accept you, and how I ask for you to accept yourself. And how I'm going to gauge that is I've got a timer here on my laptop, and I'm going to clear it and start the countdown of 5 minutes. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my unconditional acceptance of you. So I think that's appropriate. So I'm going to start right now. Okay, Emily. Emily, I want you to know that I value you, that I honor you, that I cherish you as your father. And I understand that you perform actions to satisfy your needs. And, I want you to know that I will prize you as a person, as my daughter, no matter what your behavior, no matter what your emotions are. I will prize you and value you, even if you don't like me, if momentarily you are angry at me for some reason or really upset. That is okay. To me, that is like a bump in the road. And I've got enough emotional energy and emotional strength and fortitude to see beyond that anger and look deeper, look behind it, and see maybe behind it there might be disappointment or fear, and recognize that even behind that disappointment and fear is love, and I recognize that. And so I just want you to know that I'm your father, and I'm here to accept you, and I do. There is nothing that you could do that would remove my feelings of love from you. There's no thing, you couldn't do anything wrong. You couldn't, there's nothing that you could do that would where I would not just sort of accept you the way you are. Life is hard, and we have limited knowledge, we have limited understanding of the world around us, and we make mistakes. We mess up. Sometimes we act in ways that aren't in our long-term self-interests. I do the same thing. And, but sometimes we're self-correcting, and we can self-correct, but sometimes we can, and it takes a lot longer. Sometimes we're blocked or defensive. You know, I recognize these things as true. And I know in my heart that you are doing the best you can do. And that recognition means that on a very deep level, I trust you. And that I will never turn my back on you because of anything that you've done or anything that you've said, or whatever it is you decide to do. Let's say you make a mistake and I guess you mangle your arm in a car accident, right? Your arm is like all mangled up. The question is, will my dad still love me because of my mangled arm? And the answer is yes, I will. If you fall out of a airplane and you're quadriplegic and you can't move your arms and your legs, will your dad still love you? Yeah, I will. If you get cancer and you're dying and you're weak and you can barely sit up in bed, will your father still love you? The answer is yes, I will. No matter what happens to you, I'm 100% committed to you, and I accept your behavior, your emotions, your speech. No matter what that behavior, emotions, and speech are, I am there. I will be there to accept you as you are. You don't have to change for me. I recognize I have almost no control of you. And so I have no power to make demands on you, and that's just fine. All right, well, that was the end of that 5-minute round of unconditional acceptance. So what I speak, Emily, is the truth. I unconditionally accept you. And you don't have to be different. You don't have to be smart. If you were not smart, I would still love you. If you made mistakes left and right, I would still love you. You don't have to worry about that part of your life. It's like you never have to worry about that. I will always be in your corner. And even if you call on me or not to support you, I'll be there in spirit. That I say with the strongest commitment that I can say. Anyway, I went over 5 minutes there. Well, the reason I went over 5 minutes is because my beliefs about accepting you are earnest. And I want you to recognize that. Anyway, well, that's the end of my video today. So, Emily, I hope you have a fantastic day today. And I hope you enjoy whatever it is you're doing. And that I hope when you're not necessarily enjoying the world around you, that at least you can be at peace. And at least have emotions that are within certain constraints where maybe you're a little bit sad about something, but not overly sad. Okay? Anyway, I love you, girl, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.